Much. I'm going to move on to former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo now in focus, and I want to ask you, let's start there. So 46 U.S. military men and women hurt, 38 attacks, 1 dead, killed U.S. contractor, and we responded back on October 26, sending in 2 planes and dropped a couple of things.
Harris, it's great to be with you. Your voice is exactly right. I can hear it in your voice. This is nothing. In the eyes of the Ayatollah, in the eyes of President Raisi, in the eyes of Ghani, the leader of the IRGC, external terror plotters, they see us shooting at 2 empty warehouses as literally nothing. It's a green light for them to continue this aggression. And I think, Harris, if we don't respond forcefully, not just against the proxies themselves, right? If we fire at knuckleheads that are out in the desert and don't take on the Iranian leadership itself, don't get serious about responding to the provocateur, the person who's underwriting training, providing all of the instruments of power that killed Americans on October 7th, resulted in the death of an American yesterday, right? All of those things. If we don't get those right, if we just, if we are weak, we will continue to provoke and we will increase the risk to every American in the United States.
Look, being weak-kneed at this point is to ignore the facts. And I remember under former President Donald Trump that when it was time, in his estimation, a red line, when it was time to hit Syria, he hit them with Tomahawk missiles. I mean, it was proportionality there off a battleship. I don't know what we're doing now. He's ignoring the facts, the President of the United States.
No, that's right. He's ignoring the facts, and it's important, too. President Biden has said he'll respond in the same way in the Trump administration. We said, if you do X, we'll do Y. Yeah. When you tell them you'll respond and you don't, whether that is the Obama's failure to fire missiles into Syria when he said that he would, when those red lines are crossed and you do nothing, the bad guys are going to move around the cabin. They're going to do enormous harm, and I'm very worried about what could be happening inside of our own country. We've got an open southern border and an Ayatollah in Iran being supported by the Chinese Communist Party and Russia, who are feeling their oats, and they feel that there is no cost to their actions when they attack Americans. We've got to get serious about this. We know how to do it. We have all the tools to do this, Harris. We just need leadership that is prepared to deter the Iranian regime.
Well, look, and the earlier you do that, the better off we are. Fewer of our people have to die and be harmed. Politico has gotten a leaked memo in which State Department staffers are going after Biden's administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. It's marked a sensitive but unclassified document and reads in part, "We must publicly criticize Israel's violations of international norms, such as a failure to limit offensive operations to legitimate military targets." The message also states, when Israel supports settler violence and illegal land seizures or employs excessive use of force against Palestinians, we must communicate publicly that this goes against our American values so that Israel does not act with impunity. What do you make of that?
Harris, I wish I could tell you I'm surprised, but having led that organization, the State Department, this is the AOC Rashida Tlaib wing of the State Department, right? These are classic appeasers who don't understand that the Israelis are acting in self-defense. They are taking out a terror threat that killed 1,400 of their citizens. They have not only the right to do it, but an obligation to do it. And so I saw this at the State Department during my 1,000 days as Secretary of State. There is a progressive element that sits inside of that organization that pulls and pulls and pulls. And we've already seen apparently one senior person quit. Frankly, I hope folks who don't understand how to act in America's interest, I hope they'll all decide that they no longer want to be part of an important institution, the United States Diplomatic Corps.
If only they could be woke to that. They could just wake up one morning and decide, oop, job change. Wow. Thank you. Rashida Tlaib Lane at the State Department. That's troubling. Secretary, thank you.